Netflix dropped all 10 episodes of The Alienist in one go on April 19. The show is adapted from author Caleb Carr's novel of the same name from the first book in the Kreizler series. The Alienist combines fact with fiction to give it authenticity. And so real-life historical figures appear in the show. The Alienist is set in 1896 during the Gilded Age in New York, with the rich and poor living cheek by jowl. New York is rocked by scandal after a series of horrific kings of boy prostitutes. Starts with the perpetrator grotesquely mutilating the corpses of his victims. A newly appointed police commissioner, Theodore Roosevelt, played by Brian Geraghty, is left increasingly worried as the murders keep happening. He calls on the help of his old friend Dr. Laszlo Kreizler, Daniel Bruhl, to help investigate the case and get to the bottom of the matter. In The Alienist, Roosevelt is depicted as a newcomer to a police force that is very close-knit, with loyalty among the officers as well as favoritism towards some. There are also hints of corruption within the service that Roosevelt is trying to get rid of. His efforts are met with opposition from his own, which lead him to enlist Dr. Kreizler in the first place. But how accurate is this portrayal of Roosevelt? Will there be another season of The Alienist on Netflix? Was President Theodore Roosevelt really New York's police commissioner? Yes. Theodore Roosevelt was indeed the New York's police commissioner before becoming president. He was offered the position by William Lafayette Strong, who wanted to bring about reform in the service. Roosevelt served between 1895 and 1897 and brought about much-needed change to the police force during his tenure. According to H.W. Brand's biography of Roosevelt, Tr. The Last Romantic. Just like in The Alienist, Roosevelt established the Meritorious Service Medals, which were awarded to officers based on their psychical and mental SS in the line of duty rather than their political leanings or connections. He also brought in regular inspections of firearms and annual physical and aptitude exams for police officers. Is The Alienist based on a true story? Roosevelt attempted to root out the corruption within the force and shut down nefarious police hostelries, pubs or inns where the officers could operate. His crusade to rid the New York police service of corruption came after the Lexow Commission, which uncovered a system of payoffs to officers and officials in the force. In 1895, Roosevelt and newspaper reporter Jacob Riis wandered the streets of the city to seek out police officers and make sure they were doing their jobs. However, they found was an officer sleeping on the job, which led the New York Times to run a story in June, 1895, which read, "Police caught napping, President Theodore Roosevelt makes an early morning tour. Men were neglecting their duty. Summoned to headquarters and severely reprimanded. The visit to the 21st Precinct a surprise. What is an alienist? Roosevelt's time as police commissioner also saw him clash with respected Detective Thomas Burns, who'd kept his job despite accumulating vast sums of wealth with apparently the help of Wall Street. Burns was forced to resign by Roosevelt, although a reason was never publicly given for his departure. Roosevelt eventually left the post 2 years later and went on to a number of other roles, including the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, Governor of New York and Vice President to William McKinley. In 1901 he became the 26 Hours President of America, a position he held on to until 1909. The Alienist is available to watch on Netflix now.